Oh my God. What up, everyone? In this video, I'm going to show you how to drop 4K damage and the 20 bomb in Season 8. Now, the reason I'm showing you why I'm in the jump ship right now, I know you guys may be thinking, hey, this is a little boring. Let's get to some action. Listen, the reason I'm showing you this is because I saw 30 people already jump. So it's really important that you jump in a populated location. And you did see I solo launched, and I'm going to land on the edge of capacitor here. My teammate will come with me eventually. I'm playing solo pubs. This is a trios game. I only got one teammate, but hey, we made it work. Now, if anybody isn't familiar with my channel, I've posted a ton of 4K and 20 bomb guides. I'm currently getting the 4K on all the legends. If you haven't seen those, you can check them out. All right, now obviously this is the Bangalore edition of the 4K and 20 bomb guide. And one of the most important things, no matter what legend you're playing, is getting a quick start. You need to get involved in these early game fights because you need to get that damage number up. And if you're trying to get the 20 as well, you got to try to third party and get those easy kills, those cleanup kills, as I like to call them. You know, you come in, you third party just at the right time, catch a few of the opponents weak, and you get some easy kills. Now you'll see here, my guns aren't kitted by any means, but I'm looking to get engaged in this fight over here. I do have a good armor, which is great, but capacitor is hectic. We're going to fight this team, and I can already assume we're going to get third party because of how many teams dropped on this side of the map. Now, having a teammate here was actually really critical. I see in the kill feed they just finished the fight, so I got to get involved. This Bangalore's on flesh, knock one, almost knocked the path. I see my health get really low, so I know I'm going to go down here, so my goal is to just do as much damage as I possibly can before I get knocked. I'm able to knock the Pathfinder and do a little damage to the Revenant. And my Watson teammate is here to clutch the fight. Now, without this clutch, we wouldn't have this content. So shout out to my teammate for this. As soon as Watson's picking me up, I can hear some things. So I think it's a new team. So I quickly armor swap. I'm going to pop out here to hit this med kit. And I'm going to smoke this doorway to cut off line of sight. I hear the crypto drone, so I know an EMP is coming. So I'm like, all right, got to start popping some cells. I'm going to smoke right here to cut off more line of sight. Now, Crypto's going to leave his drone out, which is his passive is going to hit me, meaning I'm going to be on that scan. And then Crypto's over here busting with the Spitfire. I am able to knock him quickly. I know Watson's fighting at least one person inside, so I'm going to heal before I go back in. This is really critical. Don't just rush in. You don't know the circumstances of the fight, especially when you're playing with randoms. Now, luckily, Watson got lifeline low, and this Horizon is late to the party. You'll see in this game there are a lot of 3-on-1s that I take, and seconds of isolation make all the difference. If Horizon's in the building already, she could have made that fight way harder for me, and potentially I could have lost it. Now, if anybody's new here and isn't already subscribed, I hope you'll consider subscribing after watching this video, because if you don't, you're going to miss out on a ton of good Apex content. Now, one of the most important factors when it comes to dropping a 4K or a 20 bomb is how many squads are alive after the initial fights off drop. Now, you have no control over this, but it is something I'm always aware of. How many squads are still up if I have a good start to a game? Now, you'll see there are 10 squads alive, and that is a great number for me right now. When I saw this number, I knew I had potential to drop a 4K or a 20. But like I said, you have no control over this. It's just something to keep in mind throughout the game. All right, so we end up trying to fight the teammates of the lifeline I had already knocked and thirsted, but fighting in a Horizon ult is just a no from me. So I hit this bounce pad out just to heal and reposition. I really thought Watson was going to die here, but she ended up holding her own, which was great. This team ended up just backing off. I think they wanted to go res their teammate, which was fine, but it kind of threw me off. So anyway, I'm going to fast forward a little bit, and there are a few teams here at Caged, so this is a great opportunity to hold them out because they have to rotate due to the zone coming in, and we can get some free kills and free damage here. We can basically cut off their entry point into the circle. So I knock one there, get some hits with my bang ult. Gonna knock this blood in a second. I get lasered in the back. I didn't even hear that person, but it's all good. We make it out of this, and I end up getting some damage, some kills here, which was really critical to have the 4K and the 20. You need to look for easy opportunities like this, and then also make sure you're getting enough resources in the death boxes. You need to make sure you have enough heals, and ammo and grenades are also very helpful. So this was actually a really good move by us to hold these teams out and get some easy kills here. So we end up making it out of the storm. I do tell my teammate, hey, I'm trying to get the 4K and the 20. That's kind of all I said, because I never know how people will take it. And they just said no problem. So I was like, okay. So we see this team over here. It's a lifeline, Gibby, and somebody else. So the only way I would push this team if I got a knock is if we knocked the lifeline or maybe the Gibby. But it is a tough push because we have to essentially drop to this stairwell, come up from low ground, and with a Gibby and a lifeline, they could potentially just res by the time we get there. And I didn't want to throw our game as just to fight this team. I figured they weren't super good because of how kind of passive they were playing. That is a good gauge. If you're like a decent player and a team you're fighting against is pretty passive, you know, I'm not saying they're bad and they can't kill you by any means. I'm just saying, like, you can probably guarantee they're not a sweaty team. Sweaty teams will just like try to ape you. In other words, they'll just run at you, try to fight you. If they see damage numbers, they're pushing you. But these guys don't really do much damage to us. So just farming some damage here, seeing what I can make of the fight. Then I hear somebody flying in from behind. Not sure if it's just one or if it's a full team or what the deal is. I hit him for about 40. I know they're going to drop low, so I can control high ground here and get probably an easy kill. It's a Mirage. He ulted. And yeah, the GG to the Mirage. Now, zone 3 is closing now. So I loot this box very quickly. And I tell my teammate, hey, don't get caught in that storm. Because zone 3 is nothing to mess around in. You are just dead after a few ticks. And unfortunately, my random teammate does end up dying to the storm. So I said, sorry, I can't get you. But they're like, no worries. So I see a Gibby over here, and I'm thinking it's the Gibby from that other team in Capacitor. So I'm like, all right, maybe they're split, because I thought I heard movement down below. So I was going to try to isolate the Gibby. But then I see this guy peek out. I get a quick knock, and I'm like, all right, I'm pushing this. Sometimes that's all you can do as a solo. Then I see there is the lifeline and the Gibby in there, so I'm like, oh crap. So I heal on top of the roof here. I feel like this is a safe spot to heal. I figured one would come out to try to res, but the Gibby's kind of lost. I get him to 1 HP. Then I swap, knock him. The Octane tried to self-res, knock him. Then I hear the Gibby, the other Gibby shooting down. He thirsted the other Gibby. So it's kind of hectic. Thirsty Octane, knock the lifeline. I'm hearing some whooshing in my ears, so I thought like somebody was pushing, but they weren't. So I'm gonna grab some loot. Then the lifeline tries cranking a self-res, and I'm like, nope. See ya. So I'm not sure if that Gibby has teammates or what. I end up having to rotate. So I go this opposite way, so he doesn't just shoot me while I come up the ramp. And I'm like, all right, if it's just a solo, I gotta push him. I heard people on my left, so I smoke here, try to cut off their line of sight. And I'm like, I gotta rotate still. I can't take too much damage. I just gotta try to kill this Gibby quickly. And I do, but I get shot in the back. So I'm like, all right, I just gotta rotate in. They're sniping me. It's pretty sketchy. I don't want them to cut me off on my left too. Like if they decide to rotate this way around this mountain, that'd be kind of sketchy. Now this is the clip you guys saw at the start, but I kind of want to walk you through it. So anytime you're in a 1v3 and it's late game and you're trying to get like a 4K or 20, trust me, no matter how many times I've gotten them, the nerves are cranking because all the pressure's on me. And if I don't have like the slightest bit of isolation in these fights, then I'm not able to pull it off. And this was one of the craziest 1v3s I've ever pulled off. I had no business winning this fight, but I somehow do. So they crack me. I'm like, all right, I gotta reposition. I have to make them come to me here. But I see I have like no room to play. All I have is this tree for cover. So I'm waiting for one to slide down. I get a quick knock on the horizon. That is critical, taking minimal damage. Trying to use this tree as cover as much as I can, but I get lasered after I knock the Watson. And I don't know how, but I killed this Bloodhound. And it just amazed me. It just amazed me. It just did. I mean, it was wild. I had no business winning that. And so I'm going to let the last fight play out. But one of the things I want to mention, guys, is when you don't get pushed in this scenario by the last team, you kind of have to assume that they're not the best team. Because anybody who's like pretty decent at the game, I feel like would have pushed me there. Hey, the last two teams are fighting. Let's go third party it. But these guys just stuck in the zone or in the circle. So I was like, all right, maybe they're not that good. But that doesn't mean they can't kill me. And I do, you know, the nerves do catch up to me and I almost lose it. But I'll let you guys enjoy it. Thanks for watching the video. Peace. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god. GG, bro. Holy crap. Wow. Wowzer. All three, baby. All three of the badges. Let's do this.